right, welcome everyone to the Cato NY Pizzeria 250 at Daytona as part of the iNASCAR Racing League. Welcome to the IWM Broadcast Network. I'm Rick Souza here with my co-host John DeRudris. And John, we've got a great race tonight.
We got an action-packed race here for the season opener of the iNASCAR Racing Series. We have some of the best here in these next-gen NASCAR Cup cars racing here tonight. And Rick, I've been looking forward to this season kicking off for a couple months now. Excited that we're on board for the full season. Can't wait to see what these guys do. They had great duels last week. Only one caution with 60 green flag laps, essentially. So I think tonight's going to be pretty good.
All right, and speaking of last week, so they ran two heats last week. The winner of each heat wound up putting, the lead qualifier of each heat put themselves on the front row for today's event. That was Corey Bunch and Jordan Booth, and we happen to have them. Let's bring them into the broadcast booth and have some conversations with these two guys.
Hi.
Corey, how are you?
I'm doing good. How about you all?
We're doing great. Hope you're doing well. You guys ready? You ready?
Oh yeah, we're me and Jordan. We was just talking about, well, I guess we'll strategically of who's best at what and who need to stay away from and all that sort of stuff. So we've, just trying to look out for one another, I suppose.
Well, that's always part of the challenge for sure. But Jordan, again, congratulations, and you're on the front row.
Yeah, don't really know how we did it, but we did it, so it's pretty cool.
Yep, and you've got your teammate right behind you. Is that correct?
Yeah. Me and Brendan worked really well there in Duel 1, and cards aligned to where we start nose to tail here.
Well, this has always been a challenging. And not just for the iNASCAR Racing Series or anybody who is on sim racing knows that Daytona is really a battle of survival.
Sure, that was like it was like with, I'll just say this, you might, from the truck race we had Tuesday and then Xfinity from last night, you're probably going to have the same sort of survival for this race later on tonight, because it'll get pretty calm, probably after the staging and stuff, and then that's probably when all the chaos is going to happen. So we'll just, the main thing is just having to survive up until you get to like 10 laps to go. Then you can just go for it and just hope for the best. And like what Michael Whitley said in the duel race, it's in God's hands.
Well, yeah, it is in fact in God's hands. Certainly, though, you're at the front where you want to be. Of course, if this stays green and you wind up going through multiple green flag pit stops, the field gets jumbled up, and then at that point it's anybody's game. But certainly, it's better to be up at the front than tucked in the back somewhere.
I mean, especially for green flag pit stops. I mean, yeah, the pack is only separated by a second and a half, but coming onto pit road, not having to dodge anybody coming on, that's super important. I mean, in Duel 1 last week, that was pretty evident. I mean, we went green the whole way, and the dudes who were at the front kind of stayed at the front after the green flag cycle. So I think track position is going to be pretty important if we stay green.
Track position is certainly key, especially here, as we've seen multiple times. If you wind up getting trapped in the back, it's such a hard time to get drivers that you work with on a regular basis to get back up front.
Yeah, you kind of got to find your friends wherever they are back there. I mean, if you stay at the front, you kind of know everybody. I mean, especially with the truck and Xfinity races the last couple of days, you kind of start to pick out who you see all the time up there and comfortable with them, and you might choose them over someone you don't see up at the front. So kind of good to keep your face present.
Well, especially this year over previous seasons, you've got a lot of new faces out there that you haven't spent a lot of time with, especially especially super speedways. But there are some names where that are new to the iNASCAR series, and you just don't know what you're going to get.
Yeah, I'll just say this. Jordan and all his teammates at 40 XLI. Is that the name?
Yes, sir.
Oh yes, I got it right the first time. Sweet. But yeah, those guys early on, like from just qualifying alone in the dual races, they've worked really well together. So they'll definitely be a strong contender for sure. The thing I could probably say I could go for myself is I've got two of the best in the business as far as super speedway racing, and Eric Jeffers and Travis Bennett. So we still got that whole full throttle um, teammate, relationship we've got, and hopefully we could just all just stick together, not get wrecked on pit road, and then not get caught speeding, and we'll be there at the end. So that's just the goal for all of our side here.
No, that's exactly what you need to do. We've always talked about staying out of trouble and know who your friends are is key to being successful here at Daytona.
Yeah, it worked out for me when we raced here in the night race last year, and I happened to be the winner of that race. So hopefully we can go see victory lane again. So we'll see.
Well, you've got your third teammate, Jordan, not too far behind you. I guess is it Kai Collymore is back in 8th? Is that what I say on the 8th starting spot?
Yeah, he was kind of the lone survivor of us in Duel 2 and did a really good job, managing through all the wrecks and carnage and got himself up there. So not too far back, but obviously don't want to get ourselves in trouble trying to force ourselves to link up. I think having, the stage caution and maybe green flag pit stops will help get him up to us. But no, he's been massive here. Just having that third guy, you absolutely need to have that third here to be kind of competitive, especially whenever teammates start to get lined up and so on.
Absolutely. All right, guys. Well, we'll let you get back to it, and we appreciate you spending a few minutes here in the booth with us as we put this broadcast together and letting our viewers know that you're out there, you're on the front row, and we'll be watching.
I appreciate it, guys.
You got it.
Thank you, guys.
All right, that's Corey Bunch and Jordan Booth. They'll be on the front row for today's broadcast, and we're very thankful that you're tuning in to the IWM Broadcast Network. We appreciate you. We know you have options for who you choose and where you watch your streaming, especially with sim racing, and we appreciate you tuning in tonight.
Absolutely, Rick. So we got about 8 minutes until we get the starting grid. Got to remember the starting grid was determined by last week's duels, so no qualifying for this race. But what these guys right now are doing are just trying to figure out how far they can push their cars, who they can work with, who they may be able to discover as new friends, or people who they may just want to stay away from, like both of those. Whoa, crazy move there. So the whole point about pushing to the limits, that's a good example. But, talking about the previous winner of this race, Martin Giroux, he is a super speedway master, and he's looking to repeat in this race. Always going to be there at the end, and I don't think it's going to be the last time we get to call his name. And Rick, we have 100 laps, so 250 miles. Green flag pit stops are going to matter. Pitting with your teammates are going to matter, and it's going to be a big, big factor in where you end up, because I think we're going to get quite a few green flag stops, at least in the first portions of the race.
Absolutely. I think, and I may have this wrong, but I think that Martin actually, the big story is that he actually missed the race. He missed the cut by, he's the defending champion here, but he actually missed the cut line by 4,000th of a second.
Oh, he did? Oh, well, I guess there cannot be a repeat if the repeat winner is not in here.
I'm just going through just to be sure, but going back and looking, that's my understanding.
That, I believe you are correct. I do not see him in here. Well, that means there will be a new winner. So we'll see who's able to make their way to the top of the board here once warm-up ends. And Rick, let me ask you this. You have teammates around you. You have a big field. You have 100 laps. This is going to be a battle of attrition and surviving. Where would you like to be? You want to be in the front? You want to be in the back? Where would you like to hang out in this 250 lap race?
With these guys, and we watched them last year through the playoffs in their championship, and we've seen them again in the duels. There's some great drafters here. These guys know how to push. They know how to work this track. So I'm thinking I want to be somewhere in the top 15. And I'm happy to live there for as long as I can survive, especially if we're going to work our way through multiple green flag pit stops. Listen to where the leaders are, pit with them, and bide my time.
Yeah, I completely agree. And talking about, going back to some previous drivers, they have, and Jordan Booth mentioned this, Tuesday night they were in the trucks, and Jordan Booth claimed the victory here in the truck series. They had long green flag runs and big ones late in the race that saw Scott Thomas actually get on the podium. So can we see those drivers possibly be up here at the end of the race? I think we can. And in the Xfinity race, we saw that return of Full Throttle Motorsports got the victory with Michael Whitley. Todd Smith was up there in the 66. He finished in second, and Jordan Booth actually got another podium. So if I had to put my money on anybody, I think Booth would be one of the best guys tonight. So can he make it 4 races with a top 3? Will he have no luck? That's going to be the story of the night, obviously, with Giroux not being a part of the race. But I think we have a lot of fierce competitors here that are hungry for a win, that wants to battle the Jordan Booths and wants to battle Corey Bunch and all those guys up at the front, Brendan Hayes, all of them. There's some hungry dogs out here as we have about 4.5 minutes left, Rick. So looking forward to it.
Absolutely. In fact, what I recall from the duels was that, it was organized until it wasn't. When it came down to it, you saw some really aggressive moves being played, trying to get, it started as 2 lanes, it wound up being 3 lanes at times. And this is a challenging track. It is so hard to go around this track 3 wide.
It is. It's tight. You can do it at Talladega. You can kind of do it here, but with the corners and with especially the tri-oval, it's much more difficult, especially at the closing stages of the races, which is when we typically see the big one happen. So I think it's going to be a matter of who is going to be together at the right time at the end. You see some guys possibly practicing some pit road entrance right now. You see the High Rocks Vodka Chevrolet right there. You see some of the other drivers making their way on. So that's going to be a big portion of tonight's race, is pit road strategy, but also getting to the end. You got to get to the end of this race because super speedways they can't, they could break your season, but they can 100% for sure make your season if you're one of the guys that are typically on the bubble at the end of the regular season going into the playoffs. So we'll see how that plays out here. 3 minutes until we get green flag, or at least cars on the track. So we appreciate you tuning in to the IWM broadcast network of the iNASCAR Racing Series, the season opener for them at the Cato NY Pizzeria 250 at Daytona. Excited to see what we got planned up here. Rick, go through some of the race stats that we got going on for tonight.
Absolutely. So weather, it's a relatively mild day here in Talladega and Daytona. So you've got 67 degrees ambient. It's a little bit, a chance of rain's a little bit high, but it's basically partly cloudy. Humidity's a little bit high at 63%. Some mild winds at 3 miles per hour, not terrible. Track temperature is only 87 degrees, so that's positive. Higher than that, you begin to see the tires get a little more greasy and a lot more slipping and sliding, especially coming out of turns 2 and 4. Now overall, you've got 100 laps here. There's a stage break at lap 33, 1 quick repair. They've got 5 sets of tires, but not really sure that's going to play much of a strategy here. You've got 60% fuel. We'll do the calculations as to when we should begin to see those drivers come in. And then we do have 3 green, white checker restarts available to us if we need it at the end.
I think we may need a few of those. The way that some of the races this week have gone, I think that's a strong possibility.
Yeah, and so the real Daytona 500 kicks off this weekend. We get a chance to give you a preview of that. But all week here on iRacing, you've seen the regular members have had a chance to race this as part of their standard sims, and it has been completely wild here. Everybody who is on iRacing and is sim racing will tell you that it's always a crapshoot with these super speedways.
Oh yeah, especially when you have the full length race, 200 laps at Daytona. Whether it's fixed setup, which means everybody has the same setup, whether it's open setup, which means you can change anything you want to the car. Anybody can do that. It's always wild. I know I'm going to be racing in 2 of the Daytona 500s on Saturday. One at bright and early 4 a.m. And then 11 o'clock. So I'll be probably streaming for that. But you're right. It is always a crapshoot. You don't know what you're going to get. You may get wrecked out on lap 1, or you may get wrecked out coming out of turn 4 on lap 200. So, or 199. So, I mean, it's always, a roll of the dice. But it's fun. It's why we do it. It's always a good time. And we are about to get the iNASCAR Racing Series, Rick, underway. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 here as we get the starting grid for tonight's Cato NY Pizzeria 250 at Daytona. Rick, are you going to be participating in any of the races this weekend?
No, I am not. It's just been a completely jammed week. So that's the end of our practice session. As soon as the grid becomes available to us, we will bring it up for you. Let's see if we can bring that grid up now. Oh yeah, we certainly can.
Beautiful. Alrighty. So this is your starting grid for tonight's Cato NY Pizzeria 250 at Cato. Excuse me, Cato. We went through a whole pronunciation list, but I did not have that one on mine, Rick.
Sorry.
Starting on the pole, you have Jordan Booth in the 41, who's outside. Corey Bunch. In third, you have Brendan Hayes. In fourth, Cody Graham. In fifth, you have Jonathan Divarnakis. And in sixth, you have Brandon Ishkanyan. There we go. Ishkanyan. In seventh, you have Alex Forge Barube. In eighth, you have Kai Collimore. In ninth, you have Simon Madgen. And in 10th, Travis Bennett. Rick?
I hope you get all the hard ones. In 11th, you've got Alex Murphy. In 12th, James Jones. 13th, Sean Walton. Richard Mills is outside in 14th. Tyler Lem in 15th. Eric Jeffers in 16th. Jordan Wetzel is in 17th. Tyler Sexton is in 18th. Michael Whitley is in 19th. And 20th, Clark Franz.
In 21st, you have Eddie Musso Jr. In 22nd, you have Joe Musso. In 23rd, you have Jacob Musso. So family right there. 21st, 22nd, and 23rd. In 24th, you have Matthew Robinson. In 25th, you have Garrett Walden. 26th, Tony Japs. In 27th, you have Matt Parasini. In 28th, you have Vince Burns. 29th, you have Alberto Abar. And in 30th, you have Mark Hanna.
Wrapping up towards the end of the field, 31st is Todd Smith. Glenn Stanley is in 32nd. Scott Thomas in 33rd. Ty Bostic is in 34th. Jason Hale is in 35th. Mike Wheel is in 36th. Ron Fitting in 37th. Nick Alves is in 38th. Tyler Thurmond is in 39th. And Josh Douglas finishes up the field in 40th.
Why did I get all the hard ones, Rick?
It's the luck of the draw.
Luck of the draw. I see how it is. We have a fantastic field ready for you tonight here at Daytona. You can see there's a Bucky's car. There's a couple teammates there in the 40-41 team. You got all these guys on track. We have a little bit of a pre-race drivers meeting going on right now as we speak. So cars are not on track yet. They are on the grid, but they are not on track. Rick, 40 cars at Daytona is always a sight to see, and I expect some exciting racing here tonight.
Absolutely looking forward to that. So we're, as John said, that we've got some drivers who they're currently right now in a drivers meeting, getting some final instructions by the admins before we kick up this. And I'm sure, if you try to imagine what are they being told, to be smart, to be prepared, to watch out for what's around you. Don't make any foolish mistakes early. Take your time. Be patient.
Patience. That's the probably my only key of the race. You got to be patient. You got to be able to give more than you take in the beginning, knowing that you just need to survive. You need to stay around your teammates. You need to survive and be patient so that at the end you have a shot to actually win. Now, if you lose the draft, that's a completely other scenario because you never know when a caution may come out. So, it's almost like what risk do you play? Do you play a little safe being in the back, or do you be a little bit more risky and stay up in the front knowing that you are in the front the entire race? So that is the decision that all 40 of these iNASCAR Racing Series drivers will make here tonight.
Looking forward to the start of this one. As soon as they wrap up their drivers meeting, we'll be going live with the field. The number of drivers are now beginning to come in and log in. There's just a handful of drivers who have not queued up. Total of 3 or 2. We're almost to get them out on the track and get this race underway. So again, while we're taking this time, we thank you for tuning in to the IWM broadcast of the iNASCAR Racing Series for our first official race of the season here at Daytona, and we are looking forward to getting this one underway.
Going to be a fun one. We've called quite a few of these iNASCAR Racing Series races before, the iNRS, as I'm going to start calling it. It's been great racing. Always has. Always produced exciting battles, no matter the track. And here, their season opener, it's exciting to see what these guys are going to be able to do on track. Right now, it looks like we have less than a minute before these guys start to roll up. And wow, on cue. There we go. Less than a second, that is, before these guys are now exiting pit exit.
Again, 40 cars about to kick off their season. This is the first points race of the season.
It's a big one because somebody can steal a win here tonight. It doesn't always have to be a favorite. You can be one of the guys that just makes it through to the end, and next thing you know, you're possibly winning the race. So we'll see how it plays out.
Well, and that's the big thing about that first race is being here at Daytona. It's anybody's game, whether it's the real, the Cup Series in real life or here in sim racing. It doesn't matter if you're in a series where you can win and you're into the playoffs. Knocking it out in the first race, I love that.
Oh yeah, it what it does is it not only settles the nerves, but it gives you confidence, saying, "Hey, if I can win at Daytona, I can win everywhere else." Why not? So I'm very excited to see how this race turns out. See who's going to be at the front of the pack at the end. Those 41 team drivers look fierce up there in those all purple cars. So I'm very curious to see how they end up at the end of this race all together in those teams, because teamwork is the name of the game here at Daytona. You got to have guys around you, whether it's manufacturer, whether it's teammates, whether it's people that you just simply like. It doesn't matter. You gotta have those guys.
All right, pace car's about to drop off, and we're about to take the green flag here at Daytona in the Cato NY Pizzeria 250.
All righty, here comes the pace car. The moment that all of us here at the IWM Broadcast Network have been looking for. Green flag, and everybody at home, green flag here at Daytona International Speedway. As 40 cars, one in the grass already, Rick. That's not good. I'm not sure who that was.
I think that was Todd Smith.
Well, if you're gonna be a lawnmower, you want to be a lawnmower early in the race. You want to get out of the way. So that's going to set a few cars back. But this field is entirely spread out right now. Almost a half a straightaway between first and last. already, which is not expected. Honestly, not expected, as you see the entire field breaking up, a huge gap between a lot of these cars on the inside line as they now make their way down into the tri-oval. Lap 1 being led by none other than Jordan Booth. Who else? He's been out front all weekend. Well, not all weekend, I guess all week, technically. All week in the Xfinity Series and the Truck Series, and here he is leading the pack around on lap 2 at Daytona.
He's got his teammate, Brendan Hayes, tucked in behind him. If you're working with teammates, that's the best way to go. Now, we are seeing the outside line beginning to get a bit organized. You've got the 01 of Travis Bennett out there, and he's got the 77 of Corey Bunch behind him.
And that's what it's going to be. It's going to be a battle between the outside line and the inside line. Now, I've raced a few races in the past couple weeks here, specifically at Daytona, and that high line, if you can get it working, it can be very, very advantageous for some of these guys to go after, because you can get a side draft, you pin down the bottom lane, they have nowhere to go, get a great run off the corner. So we'll see how often that outside lane crouches down. Obviously, we're lap 3 of 100, so a lot to go. But that outside lane can't have an advantage.
So we've already got this pack broken up into at least 3 distinct groups right now. This first one, your leaders, led by Jordan Booth. Then taking a skip back towards the tail. I think we're about almost a full second and a half behind. This one's led by Eddie Russo in the back in that 26.
Yep, and there comes our differentiating strategies here tonight at Daytona. You have some guys that are going to be in the back. You have some guys that are going to be in the front. So we see, essentially, looking at the splits right now, a pack of about 16, 17, 18 cars, and followed by a pack of roughly 10 up to 15, then followed by another pack of about 10. So a lot of different lines being run. Looks like we have some single file lines being formed up in all 3 of these. The outside line in the front pack is dissipating, which tells me that these guys kind of want to just ride around here at Daytona early on.
So this pack in the back is a group of about 6 drivers led by Tyler Sexton. You've got Ty Bostic, Mike Wheel, Jason Hale, Ron Fitting. They're all in that group. And then pretty far back, you saw Todd Smith as he was running through that grass. Unfortunately, I'm not sure what happened to him. And Tyler Thurman are back there chasing the field. It's going to be super hard for this pack of 2 to catch up.
Yeah, well, at least they have each other, though. All jokes aside, if they didn't have each other, that would be disastrous early in the race to lose the draft. They do have a little bit of drafting capabilities, but then they're not as strong as a multi-car pack like we're seeing on the screen right now, but still enough to be able to do a little bit. It's not going to be a lot, but they're going to be able to have a little bit more speed there. So right now, 2 distinct packs form now, 6 laps into this 100-lap event. Your leader, Jordan Booth, followed by his teammate Brendan Hayes, Jonathan Devernakis there in 3rd, Alex Forget there in 4th, and Simon Madsen there in P5.
All right, 6 laps in the books, and we've got some great racing so far. That outside line continues to, it's just not formed up. They've got 5 guys up there, 5 cars trying to pull it together, but I don't think that they as a group, there's a 6 that just jumped up to try and help, but they've got to get super organized to try and chase down and get ahead. But what we've seen here is as soon as we call out who's in front, it'll all change. And very often you see the leader of that outside line will make his way up to the front and then hop down to the lower line and work their way up that way.
Absolutely will. And what we're seeing right now is about a 2.6-second gap between Eric Jeffers in 18th and Eddie Musso Jr. in 19th. That is separating Pack 1 and Pack 2. That gap has slowly been closing. Very, very small amounts. Kind of going back and forth here. So at the line, we're going to get a little bit of a jump on how far back that pack is. Okay, they jumped back quite a bit right there. Now the gap is 3.4 seconds. So lost quite a bit there on that front pack, even though they are side by side. That second pack is starting to fall back just a little bit. But right now, this front pack of about 18 cars is mainly dominated by the inside line, which I don't fully, doesn't fully shock me by any means. But look at that. We got some more guys in the back going to the top.
That's the only way they're going to get back up. So, again, that second pack led by Eddie Musso is back there. He's got Jacob Musso behind him and Joe Musso. We have triple Mussos right up front there leading this pack. Clark Franz is behind them. Matthew Robinson, Vince Burns, Alberto Abar, Mark Hanna. That's all as part of this first group. And then even farther back, you get that next group that's trying to catch up to them. So this group is looking to be a little bit more organized. They are definitely working together, but can they catch that lead group?
They lost another 10th on that last lap, so it's not working as well as the front pack, and I think it's simply due to the numbers that they have. I think the front pack is doing a better job at pushing than the second pack, so we'll see how that plays out as this race goes on. You don't want to get too far back too early, as we are now about to get we are at lap 9, now lap 10 of 100, 10% of the way through tonight's Daytona debut.
Just watching, probably maybe jump inside of Jacob Musso's car. Doing some great pushing, trying to get that pack back up. Let's try to get inside his cockpit cam. You should see him begin to work his way up. There he is. Inside tap. That's Eddie Musso Jr. in front. Kind of pushing that forward through.
Yep, doing a great job right now, and that's what the 40 and the 41 are doing up front. You have Booth and Hayes up there. They are leading that front pack, and you have both the Mussos right there trying to catch back up. That time around, 4.6 seconds. So they are losing to this front pack, which is not what you want. But again, we are so early in this race. Got a lot of time to go.
Yeah, jumping back up to your top 10. This is, Jordan Booth is up there in the 41, still leading. Brendan Hayes right behind. You got Jonathan Varanakis right there sitting in third. Alex Forget-Berube right there in fourth. Simon Magin right there in fifth. Travis Bennett in sixth. Alex Murphy in seventh. Corey Bunch right there as well. Cody Graham. Now those names at top 10, that's a mix of both that low line and those guys are up in that high line, because right now iRacing doesn't exactly figure out who's where, but I am just shocked that outside line has not caught that low line and evened it up, but it's close.
Yeah, it's close. They just can't really stay together. That outside line gets a run and they start to fall off, then they get a run and start to fall off. So it's very different on that outside line. I think they're not crouching and side drafting as much as you would see late in the race. There's about a car length or two width-wise between those guys, depending on where you are on the track. So definitely not trying to push it too early, but I suspect as this race goes on, you will start to see that gap start to get closed up quite a bit from that top line to the bottom line from a width perspective. But right now, Jordan Booth out front, Brendan Hayes in second, Jonathan Davernakis there in third, Alex Forget in fourth, and Travis Bennett now makes his way into the top 5. Good to see Mr. Bennett up there. Now, Rick, we have 60% fuel. So I'm doing some rough calculations right now. I'll give you an update here in about 5 laps on where I anticipate these guys needing to come down pit road. But they're going to have to do multiple stops, especially when you have a competition caution on lap 33. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think, can they make it to the competition caution without fuel?
I don't think they can. It may be very close, but I do not think they'll be able to make it to that competition caution.
Well, again, we're watching here Jordan Booth and Brandon Hayes put on a clinic on how to draft a teammate.
They're doing it. They are the class of the field right now up in that front two. Kind of hard to see who's who because they have the same paint scheme, just different. Oh, number. I think that was their teammate, actually, that just hit the wall out of turn 4. But putting on a class act right now, 15 out of 100 to go.
So you think that Kay Collmore may have tagged the wall?
I thought he did a little bit coming out of turn 4 this past lap. Obviously, doesn't seem to be doing too much damage to that machine, but either way, he is still moving on.
I do have Jason Hale showing on pit road. Not sure if that was a scheduled stop, but Jason Hale is now on pit road.
Seems a little early to me.
Jason Hale is in the 9. That was a stop and go. It took slightly longer than probably he wanted. That's about an 8-second stop, but he is back underway.
But he's all by himself, Rick. He has nobody to help.
Yep.
Nobody to help him, rather.
That
now,
is
he
correct.
may get picked up by the second pack, depending on how far back that second pack is, rather, but we'll see.
You're riding on board with Brendan Hayes, currently sitting in second.
So by my estimates right now, we are going to see pit stops more than likely somewhere around lap 24, 23, 24, 25. That is my estimate right now.
So
they cannot go more than 25 laps.
So you do have a number of drivers. Mike Wheel has just come on pit road. So that may be a short pit strategy.
Slight short pitch strategy for sure, which could work. The math on that does make sense, so we will see how that plays out for these guys, but they cannot go more than 25 laps. Now, that is also the leader. You may have some guys that are behind the leader that could go a few more just because of savings, but we shall see here roughly in the next 7, 8 laps here in the iNASCAR Racing Series. Appreciate everybody tuning in for tonight's race. Hope you're enjoying it so far. We are, right now, your top 5 as it stands. It may change here in the next corner, but you got Jordan Booth, Hayes, Dave Vernakis, Forget, and Madgen there, all in the top 5.
Definitely a significant gap back. It's now almost 7 seconds from the leader. That goes back to Eddie Russo back in 19th, and then all the way back to the next group led by Glenn Stanley. They're almost 14 seconds behind. So when you consider a lap here, right now, the last lap was, with these leaders, that was a 45.93, that they're a third of a track behind.
Yeah, quite a bit far behind right now, and that's a little concerning. I mean, obviously we have the competition caution, which is going to help out quite a bit, but still, you don't want to go a lap down and start battling for that lucky dog. That is not one thing you want to do here at Daytona, because you can't really beat a guy off of pure speed. You're going to have to draft, and if you don't have any partners, then you're kind of out of luck there. So we'll see how all this shapes out here in a little bit.
So with
once the cycles come down.
So with 14 laps to go, 13 laps to go now at the line to the competition caution, which is a stage break. There are points awarded in that stage break. But every point counts. We've seen that as these guys last year. You could be in or out just by that 1 point, that one little position can make or break your ability to make the playoffs.
Absolutely, and that's the big part of super speedway racing and racing in series like this with the point system. Every race matters, every position matters, every stage matters. You have to be able to get spots. You have to be able to secure your spot, whether it is, going from 8th to 7th, whether it's grabbing a win. It all matters here in the long run, because 1 point, it feels pretty bad when you could have just got maybe 2 more points to beat a guy. But that's the beauty of racing and the beauty of this. So, Rick, I expect some pit stops coming here within the next few laps, and then that'll set up about a 7 to 8 lap shootout to the end of to the stage break.
Yeah, so at this point, we've only seen a couple of guys make their way down onto pit road. Our list, we still have 40 drivers still in. Mike Wheel and Jason Hale were the only drivers who took the opportunity to come down pit road relatively early. I'm sure they're trying to figure out the best way to pull this off. Unfortunately, I think for them, we'll jump down to, they're by themselves. That's Mike Wheel making his way around the track. And he's got about a 5-second delta between himself and the leaders. And then Jason Hale, he's caught up and he's actually in with another group, but that's going to help him at some point, but he's going to have to latch on to the tail end.
Absolutely going to latch on to the tail end, and we will see.
Oh, here we go. Leaders.
Here's pit stops. Yep, lap 23. So on cue, Rick.
Yep, you've got Booth, Hayes, Berube, Jones, Collymore, Wenzel. Pretty much half the field has made their way down onto pit road. And these are just gas and go kind of pit stops. Oh, great.
Absolutely.
The 19 just made a fabulous pit stop.
Oh, an amazing stop. And there's the rest of the field.
All right, here comes Bennett, Bunch, Graham, Carrion, Whitley, Jeffers, and Mills. All for their pit stop. That 19 was Alex Forget, who came down and was able to get out better than he went in. That's Michael Whitney in that Krispy Kreme car.
Gotta love that.
Always a fan.
Of course.
All right, that group has now made their way out, and I think we're about to see the rest of the group come in.
Yep, here they go.
That's Varanakis, Imagine, Murphy. Right there, they're the last group to make their way down onto pit road. Now, what do you think about that strategy? I mean, they're actually at the end of the group, and there are only 3 cars that came in together.
Yep, end of the group. I mean, as long as they can stay together, I think they'll be okay. You got 8 laps to go on the stage. It's going to be close to the end, so you're not really worried about. Essentially, you're not really worried about where you're finishing, but you have a little bit of leeway there. I'm not worried about them going a lap down. They just need to stay together. They need to be together and get as fast as they can go here for the next 8 laps to make sure that they are not at risk of going 1 lap down, because that is never fun.
I think they've actually, did they stay on the lead? Well, here's the rest of the leaders coming up behind them. This is a very interesting situation here. The leaders are going to work their way around them.
Yep, here they go. I did not expect those leaders to be right where they were, but here we are with about 7 laps to go in stage 1.
Oh, contact. The 40 tapped the 41. Unsettled that car. Great save.
That could have been a big one.
That had big one written all over it.
It did. It had the leaders' names all over it. So, lap car right here, 3 wide.
That's the 11 High Rock. He stayed up high. That's Tyler Thurman. Yeah, almost a big one right there amongst the leaders. And that would be teammate to teammate. good save.
Great save. And that just shows you the skill and the car control that these guys have out here. They're able to get through it. So right now, we got 6 laps to go until the until the stage break, rather, on lap 33. Oh, wow, that was almost close.
Yeah, you've got lots of moving and shaking happening right now between Brandon Hayes and Jordan Booth. That's Jordan Wetzel on the outside. Well, was on the outside in the 81. Now they're all on the outside.
Yep, and look who's back there. You have Kai Collimore, teammates.
Yeah, Ty did great. He dropped in when his teammates took that pit stop. He dropped off as well. Now he went from 19 up to 3rd.
Yep, exactly where you want to be. And that is where those 40, 41 drivers want to be right now at this stage of the race. All together. They know where they are. They can work together as a team now. And they are in full control of this one, Hayes, Booth, and Collimore.
Now they are coming up on a lap car who moves to the outside. I think that's the 9 of Jason Hale. Right now, 35 cars on the lead lap with just a few laps to go before our competition caution stage break at lap 33.
You know, Rick, we saw what it was like to be behind one of these guys and pushing. Let's see what it's like to be the leader. Let's see if we can go on board with Brendan Hayes there in the 40, leading this field around Daytona. Isn't that a pretty sight? You just have nothing in front of you. You just got you in the open road and your teammate pushing you like crazy right behind you.
Yeah, you can see the little bit of movement in the car. You can hear the RPMs jump up as that car matches bumper to bumper. And, you know, these Fords, the way that car is made, it just matches up so well. They do a great job pushing each other. They're saying that the new Toyota body style will allow that to happen more. But right now, what we saw qualifying, that really, the speed's not there today in reality, but we're hoping that that will change.
Well, Tyler Reddick one dual one, so there's some speed.
Yep.
So we'll see if that translates over here into the iNASCAR Racing Series, where I don't think there's many Toyotas in the field, Rick. I think we counted 2. Is that correct?
Yeah,
from last week's duels.
James Jones in the 45 Toyota, and I think he is the only Toyota in the field.
That's a lonely feeling, don't you know?
Yeah. So top 13 is dominated by 9 Fords and 4 Chevrolets.
The Fords definitely seem fast. Those Dark Horse Mustangs, fast all the way around this track. Obviously, that's what 40-41 racing is. It's all Ford Dark Horse Mustangs. And as you can see right now, we have 2 laps until the stage is its end on lap 33. You mentioned it, Rick. Points matter, and we should be seeing maybe a little bit of action going on there for about 6th place on back. You see 2 Chevrolets start to get to the high line, and that pack just a little bit further on back. It's not quite there, but this last time around, they were 1.8 seconds back. This time, they are 1.3 seconds back. So that second pack is closing in, possibly to make a little bit of an upset here, possibly for this front pack. We'll see what happens here in the next lap and a half.
Yeah, I think that's Corey Bunch and this group here. That's Eric Jeffers, Travis Bennett, Michael Whitley, and Cody Graham. They're all back there. We'll stick with the leaders here with just 1 lap to go.
Here we go. 1 lap left here.
And we should see competition caution fly once these leaders cross that start-finish line. But right now, you know,
that
40 XLI has got it top 3 position so far.
Yep, and they have a little bit of a run coming from that third car on back. Here it comes. That second pack arrived, and now we got a run for it. It's going to be hard to beat those 340 XLI cars on the bottom unless that 72 in a high line of Jonathan Devernakis can get alongside. Oh, we got pushing in the corner, 3 wide. We're going to get a race out. No, I don't think we are. It's going to be 40, 41, 1, 2, 3 at the break. Brendan Hayes, Jordan Booth, and Kai Collimore finished first, second, and third here. Continuing what they've been doing all week here in the iNASCAR Racing Series.
John, that was just a fabulous 33 laps of racing. We didn't see any cautions. We saw some fabulous pushing and some working together by teammates. A couple of guys got caught up in some earlier incidents and wound up, the pack began to break up, but just some great racing.
What more could you ask for? What more could you ask for here in the iNASCAR Racing Series? But right now we got a caution flag in the air, not for a wreck, so it doesn't technically count. I'm not counting that towards our trends by any means, but we will have pit stops. So I estimate them going back to green with roughly 38 laps to go. Not 38 laps to go, 38 laps on the ticker, which means they're going to have to come down on lap 62 and lap 87. So 2 more stops, more than likely, for these guys, and they'll be sent home to battle it out to the end.
So yeah, we saw them first come down around lap 22 or 23. So if you add that to wherever we pick back up once they... Now the question is here, do you come down and take tires and just do a do-over? Or do you just do fuel and get back out for position?
It depends on your team. I think if you're in the front, I think I like track position. I think possibly just change one set of tires and the next pit stop change the next set of tires. More than likely probably those outsides, but I would not go for a 4-tire stop if you're in this front 5 or 10. Track position seems to be very important at the early stages, with 6 out of the top 10 starting in the top 10. So 60%, I like the odds there.
So you've got Jordan Booth right now. He's got his left sides, and that was it.
Well, hey.
Tremendous race off of pit road.
Yep, 3 wide. I think the 31 had the position, though, on the 40.
That's Alex Murphy. We'll see how the timing tower has scored this. Now that works out better if Alex Murphy does wind up in between Booth and Hayes.
Exactly. They'll be nose to tail, so it'll be easier to get in position.
Well, and plus, here the leader does get lane choice, so we'll see how this all plays out. We do know that was Jordan Booth, so we'll see how that all shakes out. So that 24 is Matt Perusini. We'll see what, I guess he's going to probably get a wave around. He stayed out. He did not come in. He was in last in at lap 24. So that may help him get back on the lead lap.
That, in fact, might.
Currently he shows as 1 lap down.
Also, during this event tonight, we also know that the Daytona duels are going on as we speak, and had a pretty gnarly incident with Mr. Ryan Blaney. Glad he's walked out of that one. Very similar impact to the impact he had in the Coke 400 last year, Rick, if you remember, getting turned into the outside wall. Very similar incident that just happened in the Tri-Oval between him, William Byron, and Kyle Busch. So, wondering what's going on right there? That's what happened. Well, about a 10-car incident. So, hopefully that doesn't happen tonight. These guys are doing great here in the iNASCAR Racing Series, putting on a show.
Absolutely. Again, we want to thank you. This race is sponsored by Cato's New York Pizzeria. And if you do happen to be in the Cato, New York area, stop in, get a pie, and enjoy what they have to offer.
Oh, yeah. Would love some New York za right now. That sounds really good, Rick. Too bad we're not up there.
There you go. All right, lights are off on top of the pace car. When we come back to the stripe, we'll go back to green.
Going back to green here in just a little bit to give you an update on what's been happening. We have 4 cars that are a lap down. Todd Smith and Matthew Parasini. 1 lap down, Jason Hale and Michael Wheel. Both 2 laps down.
That gives us 35 cars currently on the lead lap. All right, Jordan Booth is in charge, I believe.
Yep, and Jordan Booth up there in front.
Yeah, we don't have the ability to know if a leader changes lanes and is in charge, but we're guessing that Jordan Booth is our leader.
He is the leader, and he took the outside line. Green flag back in the air here at Daytona, and look at that. It's like they orchestrated that, Rick.
Imagine that. Lots of, right now, guys trying to figure out just what lane they want to be in. So far, that low line has been successful here. 46.
It has been successful.
Of Simon Madgen just drops right in behind. They're trying to get that outside lane to work. I think that was Kai Collymore that jumped up to the outside there.
And just like it was written, all these guys now go to the bottom lane here with 40, wow, my math is wrong, 61 laps to go. I kept on seeing that 41 car, so I want to keep on saying 41. So that 41 is Jordan Booth up there in the front.
We are getting some comments, John, not to give updates on the duels. These guys want to go back and watch it.
Whoops, sorry guys. I will not say anything else. But either way, we have the 40, 41 guys up here. A little bit of pushing up in the top lane with the 72 and the 39. My bad, that's the 81 and the 39.
Yep, that's Jordan Wenzel and Kay Collymore on the outside.
Yeah, he definitely wants to get up with his teammates.
Get the 12 of Eric Jeffers back there on that outside line as well. Trying to find a way around and get that. I mean, that outside line is looking much more organized now than it was earlier for sure.
And that's what you need, and that's what I expected to happen here. As this race goes on, that outside lane will start to creep down just a little bit to get more of a side draft to be able to battle up there in the front.
Good racing, 41 laps, 40 laps in the book, 41 laps in the book as we begin lap 42. Booth, Hayes, Madgen, Murphy, Varanakis, Wetzel, Berube, Collymore, Walton, and Jeffers. That's your top 10. Again, we're seeing the field break a little bit apart here, and there's that lone driver out there just trying to make it happen. He's at the tail end of the longest line at that low side.
He is, and we'll see what happens as that outside line. It looks like you got some guys starting to try to form up just a little bit there. It's still very early in the race, and we know pit stops are going to be coming around lap 60 to 61, so make your moves now to put yourself in position to get with your teammates, and that's what I believe the 39 of Kai Collimore's trying to do on the high side. Now we got a major line form, maybe I thought a third lane was going to form up there at the top. They thought better of it. That was a 33 machine of Brandon Ishkanyan.
Much more organized now, and it looks like the leaders are also working to kind of keep themselves away from that outside, kind of stall out that outside line and keep them from getting a run.
Yeah, doing a great job at that, but that outside line is strong now. We have a pack of roughly 29 cars up here battling up front.
That's what it's going to take to get around that low line. There's no way you can do it being disorganized or not staying in line. Super hard. You're going to let that lead guy go, that 81 of Jordan Wenzel. He's got the 39 of Kai Collimore behind him. He's got to push him. And then everybody behind you has to kind of get in line.
Yeah, and they're doing a good job right now. This is the first time that the outside line has been able to battle up there with the leaders. A strong push from Kai. Better be careful pushing in the corners. I don't like how far left he is on that bumper. You know how tricky that gets, Rick.
Well, especially when you consider it's a Ford pushing a Chevy, so it just doesn't line up exactly correct. Oh, and that's the plan. He dropped down.
And we go 3 wide. Oh,
in the wall.
And this could produce a... This is close. Hold on. Hold on to it. We got a big stack up on the high line. A car stuck in the middle. That is the 81 stuck in the middle lane right now. Jordan Wenzel with nowhere to go, trying to find somewhere to fit in, and he's not going to be able to find it.
Looks like he may. No, I was thinking he was going to find a spot on the low line. It has not happened. He's just running out there in the middle. That move by Collymore was good for him, but unfortunately, I don't think anybody behind him knew what was happening, and it completely discombobulated that outside line. Forcing
Absolutely.
Dropping the 81 into the middle. Now he's able to get down low, but that cycled him all the way back to 11th.
It did, and then that's going to break up this pack just a little bit. I assume it's going to pick right back up, so we'll see how it plays out.
That's a lap car on that outside. That High Rock Chevrolet is on that outside, and he is a lap down. That's going to force guys to kind of work their way around. Oh, another car is now in the third. Almost. I think there's a third lane there, but now we got some movement. Shaking it free. It looks like that 81 of Jordan Wenzel he's driving. He's on a mission to come back to the front.
Yeah, he wasn't really happy with how that ended out, so he's trying to get his way back up there and battle there. We know he can win. We've seen him do it many times here in the iNRS. And can he do it in the Cato NY Pizzeria 250 at Daytona? Possibly. Here, just about halfway, 3 laps away. Half. Pit stops coming in roughly 10 to 12 laps.
Well, he's got the right guy behind him. That's the 12 of Eric Jeffers. He's still going to got to give him a push and push him to the front. That's the guy.
It's definitely the guy. Jeffers, also a seasoned driver here in the iNRS. Excited to see him there battling and giving that 81 a push, trying to get him back up to the front.
Still lots of movement mid-pack as these guys are swapping high lines with low lines and low lines with high lines. Trying to find a way to get back up to the front. Lap 48 is in the books. Kai Collmore has worked his way up front, and he is currently leading. Oh, car is wrecking.
Oh,
Big
wrecking.
wreck, big wreck.
And they're coming back up the track. They're coming back up the
Hold
track.
it, hold it.
On. No caution yet. They're on the apron. No caution yet. Still no caution.
That was Corey Bunch.
There it is. Caution out on the racetrack.
Corey's using the road course to make his way back up on the track.
We need to go back and dissect that one a little bit because that started quite a little bit back in this pack.
That's a 77 Corey Bunch. Let's try to get a quick far chase shot here and kind of walk our way through this. See if we can see just what happens and when. Of course, you're always going to have this little bit of a dance as these cars come off turns 2 and 4. A little bit of movement, kind of like a snake. You see them accordioning. 12 came down a little bit.
Oh.
That's the 72. Let's go back. So I'm trying to key, John, my eyes on that seam there. The 77's drifting a little bit farther down, but he's still holding it. And the 72 looks like he comes up, a little bit of contact with the 77. And then there's, with the 1, unfortunately, the 1 and the 19 collect and spin.
Able to keep it off that inside wall.
All right, and what we are seeing here on lap 50 is everybody taking this opportunity to come on down pit road.
Yep, you have to. Got to come down pit road right now.
All right, we're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back. Stay with us for the Cato NY Pizzeria 250 here at Daytona.
Welcome to the New York Pizzeria in Cato, New York. The New York Pizzeria has been bringing Central New York the best meals and snacks in the business for generations. Located at the four corners of State Routes 34 and 370, the New York Pizzeria is easy to find and impossible not to love. Aside from delicious pizza served to go or in-house, the food is always fresh and made by the local and talented staff. The New York Pizzeria prides itself on dishes including always fresh pizza by the pie, slice, or sheet with all the topping options you could want. The one-of-a-kind Jenny Wings. A mild, sweet and sour take on traditional bone-in or boneless chicken wings. And fresh-to-order garlic cheese bread, chicken parm subs and a prime variety of cold beverages. Do yourself and a legendary local business a favor and have what is truly one of the originals. The New York Pizzeria, order today.
All right, welcome back to the Cato NY Pizzeria 250 here at Daytona. We are on lap 50. We just are here because of a caution with a number of drivers, specifically the 77 of Corey Bunch. But we are back underway here, getting ready to go back to green. So, John, we are halfway through. 50 laps in the books. We'll go back to green flag in a lap or two. What's your thoughts?
I think track position is very important. Teammates, it's kind of what I said at the top of the broadcast. It matters a lot here, especially as the race goes on. You have to be able to have your teammates around you, and we've seen the 40-41 team do very well with that. As you can see them all starting there on the inside. So I'm very impressed with the driving so far. It's been a thrill to watch, especially only one caution really so far. So I'm excited to see what these guys can do now, knowing that you have a little bit of a pit strategy decision to make, because they're going to be coming to lap 52, and if they have 23-24 laps, that means they pit on lap 73 to 74 to 75, and then the fun equation starts to come at the end. You can see these guys at the bottom, they know they got to start saving now. When do you come in? Do you save enough gas? So I would not want to be up front right now knowing that you are potentially 1 to 2 laps short, but that's just me. But I'm excited to see what these guys do.
So they absolutely need one more stop if the race stays green without a green-white checker. It'll be super close. Now, that being said, we've got to go 49, 48 laps without a caution. That's going to be tough.
It's going to be tough, but I think these guys can do it. They've been patient, but also they know that the end of the race is coming. You know, this race is gone by fairly quickly, so they know that the time is now, and with only one more opportunity, which is the pit stop potentially, you got to make your moves. You got to make your moves while you can.
You see the 41 is running along the apron there, saving just a little bit of gas, possibly anything he can to save an extra 100 feet or so if it comes down to that.
Yep, and that's what it may come down to. You never know here at Daytona. In the Geico Restart Zone, green flag back in the air, and you have Kai Collymore leading the field down with his teammates behind him. Mr. Jordan Booth and Brendan Hayes, with Jordan Wentzel up in the high line with Eric Jeffers and Travis Bennett.
So Jordan Wentzel has found his way back up and is leading again that outside line. He's got that 12 behind him of Eric Jeffers.
He does, and he's getting a big push right now in the middle of turn 3 and turn 4. They're kind of stalling out, not really anywhere to go because they don't have any help there, Rick. They got nobody behind them to be able to help them out. So
they've got the 01 of Travis Bennett in the Bucky's car. I think behind him, I'm trying to get a make. I think that's A-Bar.
Yep, and we got...
Oh, the 28 and the 33 have moved up. 28 is Joe Musso and Sean Walton in the 23.
So now they're up there in that high line. We'll see what happens. And it looks like, it's funny, almost 2 identical packs have formed between pack 1 and pack 2. You have a pack of roughly 17 cars, followed by a pack of roughly 18 cars, 18 to 19 cars there. So you're starting to see the packs form, but I think now that the race is starting to wind down, you're going to start to see the packs go from 3 packs. Now we're at 2 to then 1 pack. So we'll see what happens as this pack that's roughly 2.
Yeah, here's some notable names and positions. Joe Musso is plus 15 as has worked his way up to 7th. And also Ty Bostic. Ty started 34th and is now up to 9th. So 25 plus positions for the 22 of Ty Bostic. Yeah, I've talked to Ty in the past. Super Speedway is not his favorite style of racing.
Not at all, but it works.
All right, Kai Collymore continues to lead. You got Jordan Booth behind and Brandon Hayes. That's 40 XLI teammates, nose to tail, positions 1, 2, and 3. You've got the 31 of Alex Murphy sitting behind them, followed by the 46 of Simon Matchin. Sean Walton is behind the 23, and Cody Graham. We've now gone to a single pack running right now, nose to tail, here in the Cato, New York Pizzeria 250 here at Daytona. All right, lap 56 is in the books. Again, we thank you for tuning in to the IWM broadcast of the iNASCAR series. Here you can find us every Thursday night for the next 30 or so weeks. Here we follow along with the NASCAR schedule. You see them on Sunday. We're going to be there doing it on Thursday.
It's really interesting to see, Rick, how the entire field is now on that bottom line. You have basically everybody. I mean, like not maybe like 3 cars, but you have a train rolling around here at Daytona led by the 40-41 guys with Kai, Jordan, and Brendan. So,
yeah, as far back as we go, we're kind of scrolling back through the field here, looking back through the packs. Everybody is nose to tail all the way back. That's Josh Douglas right there sitting in 21st. He's plus 19. Watching that field go by, the entire field is single file.
It's cool to see. It's really cool to see these guys all single file now here at Daytona. And talking about some big movers of the race, you got Ty Bostic up 26 spots from 34th up to P8. You have Alberto Abar up 19 spots from 29th all the way to 10th. You also have, I believe that is the Joseph Mousseau machine up 11 spots from 22nd up to 11th as well. So a lot of big movers right now in this field with just over 40 laps to go.
36 cars are on the lead lap. Just a handful are sitting in the back, down a lap or two. So great showing so far with nearly 60 laps in the books. 2/3 of the way through this event tonight. And we've just seen an absolute clinic with drafting here.
Yeah, those 3 guys up at the front, Kai, Jordan, and Brendan, they know what they're doing for sure. So they're going to be tough to beat. But watch Alex Murphy, Simon Madgen there as well. They've been hunting around this top 5 for quite a while now. We mentioned some of the biggest movers. Let's talk about the flip side of this. Some of the biggest losers. You have Jonathan DiVernakis there, down 20 positions from 5th all the way down to 25th. You have Corey Bunch down 30 spots from 2nd to 32nd. And Alex Forget down 23 spots from 7th to 30th. So
I think all those guys are caught up in that actual
correct.
wreck, and they spent some significant time in the pits trying to get, without having to use your quick repair, just trying to get some repairs made to those cars. So, Jonathan spent nearly a full minute in the pits working on some body work and some repairs. You had Mark Hanna was also, Scott Thomas was in there in the 79. He was getting work done. Corey Bunch as well. So, whoa. That's Mark Hanna. Just talking about Mark. That's the 88. Mark Hanna dropped off the racing service and bailed out. Came back up. Trying to see what's happening back here in the field. This is the 24th spot. You've got the 79 of Scott Thomas right behind him, and the 8 of Josh Douglas right in front of him. So we're beginning to see that formation of that outside line starting back up here with our leaders, again led by who? That 81 of Jordan Wenzel. He loves that outside line.
He does, and he has that 12 committed to him with the 01 of Travis Bennett committed. They're all committed to that high line. And it's a matter of time, because we saw it work. It's just going to be a matter of time before it works again.
So that's the 12, the 01 of Travis Bennett there. You've also got, I believe, the 23 of Sean Walton, and I think Joe Musso is also up there as well. They're gambling on that outside line finally coming together. And you know what? Look, they're challenging that leader. They're challenging that low line right there.
Yeah, well, you speak it into existence, and look at what happens. They're up there at the front now. What does he do? What does Wenzel and Jeffers do? Do they drop down? Do they stay committed to that high line? Do they take advantage of this? Who knows? But right now that outside line is prevailing with the Ford pushing a Chevy.
See if if there's been any change weather-wise.
And there comes the 01, the 12, and the 81 down to the bottom lane. Wenzel, Jeffers, and Bennett there to now shut off the 1041 or the 4041 team.
So weather shows that the track has actually cooled off nearly 10 degrees.
Well, gotta love physics. We are transitioning a little bit, so it does look somewhat cloudy here on some parts of the track. So with that cooling down, that means track grip should be going up a little bit, depending on the temperature of these tires. Got a little bit of a push there from the 12 to the 81.
Well, you saw that Wenzel, Jeffers, and Musso were able to drop down out of that high line and take over that low line right in front of the 40 XLI guys. That puts the 28 of Joe Musso on the outside to see if he can do it. He's got the 33 of Brandon Iskarian behind him.
And now they drop down to the bottom line, and a little bit of a shake-up there from the 01 to the 39. But we're all going forward here. Now with the outside line being led by the 96 machine, I believe.
Yeah, that's what it shows.
But I don't think it's a 96. I think that's... I am not sure who that is right off the top of my head, but we'll be able to determine it at the line, depending on where he finishes. Looks like he's going to finish either in 6th or in 7th. It's going to be 6th. So that outside line is definitely not Kai.
I think
it's... no, those are lap down cars.
Yeah,
right?
that's Mike Wheel in the 96.
That is Mike Wheel in the 96. I was confused. That is Mike Wheel battling for trying to get his lap back with the 99 behind him, who is on the lead lap. That's Tyler Lem. And now following in line, that's Alberto Abar up in the high side. So, hey, you got to do what you got to do. At Daytona, you have, you got to run your own race. And right now, he's fast enough to stay up there. So push him. Why not?
So what you're seeing is just a little bit of a shakeup from what we saw on this restart here. We got this back underway around lap 49, lap 50. So now we're 17 laps in, John. So now we're not far away. We're 8 or so laps away from their potential last green flag stop.
Maybe if they saved enough. I don't know if they can make it to the end. We may see some guys running out of fuel, but now we have a new leader, Joseph. So in the number 28 machine. Oh, hold on to her. He's
contact.
Still yep, he's still there.
That's the 99.
Yep,
wreck in the back.
Yep, big wreck in the back into turn 1. Looks like that collected quite a few drivers. That is the 5 machine of Richard Mills.
The 9 of Jason Hale. The 15. I think that's Clark Franz.
Yep. Clark Franz. I have to go back and take a look at that one. Because that's what really caused that was the shakeup at the front, which probably caused a checkup. And
all
a little bit of
back.
chaos.
Yep,
all the way back.
All right, let's take a look at that right after our commercial break. We'll be right back.
Welcome to the New York Pizzeria in Cato, New York. The New York Pizzeria has been bringing Central New York the best meals and snacks in the business for generations. Located at the 4 corners of State Routes 34 and 370, the New York Pizzeria is easy to find and impossible not to love. Aside from delicious pizza served to go or in-house, the food is always fresh and made by the local and talented staff. The New York Pizzeria prides itself on dishes including Always fresh pizza by the pie, slice, or sheet with all the topping options you could want. The one-of-a-kind, Jenny Wings. A mild, sweet and sour take on traditional bone-in or boneless chicken wings. And fresh-to-order garlic cheese bread, chicken parm subs and a prime variety of cold beverages. Do yourself and a legendary local business a favor and have what is truly one of the originals. The New York Pizzeria, order today.
All right, welcome back to the Cato New York Pizzeria 250. We are under caution for an incident in the back of the pack. We'll try to bring that to you right now. So, John, I'm not exactly sure where this is going to come. Oh, there it is right there. That's the 5 of Mills that came down. Let's back it up just a tiny little bit.
It looks like there was contact between the 5 and the 24 somehow. That shook this up a little bit. There's the checkup.
Yep. 15,
there's the 5.
15 checks up. The 5 moves up, gets out of the way. 24 is the outside. 24 came down a little bit, but I can't see any contact. He may have just tried to... Let's get behind the 24 real quick. Not to belabor the point too much here.
It just seemed a little bit abrupt, so I didn't know if there was contact. Also, love that paint scheme.
Yeah, I know you do. Well, that may be a little bit of net code.
Yeah, net code for sure. Net code for sure. That got Mills into France. The 03 of Stanley there involved.
That's
unfortunate. Next thing you know.
So, yeah, I mean, it was close. It really wasn't, but I think a little bit of net code caused that incident. Too bad for these guys. They're working really hard to either get their laps back or just stay up there with the pack.
Tough break.
Yep. So while all that took place, pretty much everybody in the field came down to get their service done here with lap 70 now. That makes things super interesting because there are 30 laps to go, probably 30, 28. By the time we go back to green, there'll be 28 laps to go, and you can't make it 28 laps.
Nope. You can't make it at all. And that's the story right here for these guys. Can't make it. So that means pit stops. Now, the question is, when do you come down? You want to be risky? You want to, possibly come down pit road on the earlier side knowing you have to pit? You want to come in as late as you can with your team? Obviously, you have to do with the team. But if we get another caution, we may be able to stretch out the fuel just enough to get it. I don't know if it's going to be possible, but it could be.
All right. Lights are off on top of our pace car. Your top 10, Musso, Jeffers, Abar, Lem, Wenzel, Jacob Musso, Travis Bennett, Cody Graham, and Eddie Musso Jr. We've got 3 Mussos in the top 10.
We got 3 Mussos in the top 10. We do not have 3 40 or 40 XLI cars in the top 10, though,
Yeah,
Rick. That's a new story.
Yep. We got Jordan Booth is in 14th. Kai Collmore is in 16th. And I'm missing one. Where's the 40?
Brendan Hayes.
18th. So this has really shaken the field.
It has. So that's somewhat dangerous territory for those teammates. You don't want to be caught back there. I mean, obviously they have quick repairs they can use, but you don't want to have to use your quick repair, Rick. You want to be able to get, this race done without using that. And they've been up front all race long. So I'm curious to see how those 40 XLI, the 4041 team, can do here now with just 28 laps to go. Green flag back in the air.
We are
Joe
underway.
Musso leads them down
Oh, a
into
little bit
turn
of
one.
Yeah, just there's a lot of movement here. There's a lot of change of guys up at the front. We've always said cautions breed cautions, and so you never know here. You've got the field has completely changed. I do see that 81 though is right of Jordan Wenzel is back up. He's currently showing in 6th. He's got the 7 of Alberto Abar right there. Oh, someone's now there. Definitely some swapping of positions here. Eddie Jeffers is now showing in front. He's got Tyler Lem behind him in the subway car. Jacob Musso behind. You've got the 31 of Alex Murphy on the outside leading that pack. And that outside line is strong.
I didn't realize my mic was off. I was just talking away, Rick.
Oh, welcome back.
Thank you. It's exciting to see these guys now with the battles that are unfolding. You know, you had a big pack of 4 with the 12, the 99, the 25, and the 27. That is Jeffers, Lem, Musso, Jacob Musso, that is, and now Cody Graham battling up there in the front. So we will see how this plays out for these guys, because those guys in the back, you have Jordan Booth, Collymore, and Hayes. They are starting to get all formed together now, nose to tail.
We got 3 wide across the start-finish line.
And who's right there? All of those 40 XLI guys in the middle lane, tight racing.
Still has not settled down. You got the 81 is back there as well, all swapping positions. Super hard coming off of turn 2 to reorganize. 41 is back up there of Jordan Booth. He's pushing the 33. That 33 is piloted by Brandon Ishkarian.
Right now we are approaching 25 laps to go. Big moves being made to the outside line. You have the 33 of Brandon Ishkarian being pushed by Jordan Booth, so kind of just left his teammates there in the back.
Oh, really?
And now
swap.
Well, before you knew it, look who's back out front, that 41 machine.
Yep, but he's got some different cars behind him. He's got the 31 of Alex Murphy and the 7 of Brandon Ishkarian behind him. The 33 has dropped down to the low line. You got Alberto Abar now on the outside, and the 81 of Jordan Wenzel is all what makes up the top 4 cars in that outside line. His teammates, that's Jordan Booth's teammates, are not far behind. Kai Collymore and Brandon Hayes a little bit farther back, but they're all in that outside line, storming to the front. 25 laps to go. They can't make it on fuel. That's
so what do you
the story
do?
of this race.
Yeah, they can't make it. It's especially if you're in the front pack here, in the front 2 cars of either line, you're using more fuel than the guys behind you. So we'll see who's going to make their way down pit road first. I don't know who it's going to be, but it's going to happen. It's got to happen. So as we see right now, we have about 15 to 20 cars on that outside line with about 15 cars in the bottom lane. The entire field is right here at the end of the race. The only cars that are not in this pack are about 7 seconds off. We have James Jones. He's the only one that's not in this front pack.
He is the last car on the lead lap.
Yep, of 35 cars. 35 cars right here in this pack. And the pushes are going to start getting bigger. The moves are going to start getting bigger. And the patience is going to start getting smaller as we are now 24 to go. Riding on board with Alex Murphy. great job of not pushing too hard, giving the 41 enough room, and then pushing off the backstretch going down here into turn 4, or turn 3 where that is, giving a shove all the way down here, which is going to excel that outside line.
Oh man, that's a huge push. They were able to, pretty much that entire backstretch, he was able to push him.
You know that car's got to be running a little bit hot. I can't see what their temps are, but it's up there. It's up there for sure. 22 laps to go with the line, and we got a move now by Jordan Wenzel to the bottom lane.
Smart move by Wenzel. He took an opportunity to drop down and get around.
We've got some big pushes there.
Well, he's getting back where he was. So we have seen a number of guys who decided to short pit with 22 laps to go. Mark Hanna, Josh Douglas, and Scott Thomas all hit the pits.
Not a bad idea. Not a bad idea at all. They are banking on this race to be exactly, go right to the end with no overtime. So the packs that are out there now, when you pit now, you are good to go to the end with maybe a couple laps extra in the tank. So that's going to be close for those guys who want to pay attention to them. But right now, that 8 machine is getting pushed by Ishkanen there.
Almost a little bit too much push by the 33 on the back of the 81. That's Brennan is carrying. That was tight. Just kind of slipped off the bumper. Didn't do anything, but it certainly scared me, the broadcaster.
Yeah, like I said, the pushes are getting bigger, and the patience is getting smaller here as we are now approaching 20 laps to go this time by.
Jordan Wenzel has
blink. Sorry, Rick, didn't mean to interrupt you. The 41 blinked there in the middle of 3 and 4.
All right, if you're unfamiliar with what that means, that's just a connection between these. Obviously, this is a simulation. That's a computer issue or an internet issue with that driver and disrupting his connection to the server. And so you may hear us refer to it as a blinking car. That's what it means, because he will blink in and out.
Looks like he's all good now.
Yeah, hasn't reoccurred, so that's a positive thing. 20 laps to go. Fabulous race here by the 81 of Wenzel. You got Jordan Booth now out there leading from that outside line, showing it can be done. A little bit of movement further back with his teammates.
Yeah, you saw a big checkup there. The 30 got to the left rear quarter panel of the 41. Didn't like that, checked out. And then the two teammates of Kai Collymore and Brendan Hayes almost got together there to keep it straight. Now a big push from Ish Canyon, 33 on the side of that 81 of Jordan Wenzel to now push him up. Now what does he do? Does he go to the high side block the Jordan Booth run, or stay to the bottom side? We're about to find out.
I think he's banking on not losing the 33, the 12. That's been who he's been running with all night, and the 99 of Tyro Lem. Just kind of staying with who brought him. They've been battling out with the 40 XLI guys all night long.
Oh, tough pushing right there in the middle of this, the Tri-Oval of Daytona. It's hard to do. They're able to get it done. 18 laps to go. We know all these leaders up here have to pit. We know we did see some guys come down pit road just a little bit ago. That'd be Mark Hanna, Josh Douglas, and Scott Thomas.
So they pitted last on lap 69. Do you wait till the end of your fuel run?
I say yes, because that means you put a smaller amount of fuel in the car, which means you have to be on pit road for a less amount of time. Now, that does close the gap on how much time you have to make up if you do fall behind. But I would rather take a shorter time on pit road versus a longer time on pit road, because you have to fill up the car a little bit more. So I guess it could work inversely as well.
I think the biggest challenge, John, you got here is that you've got a lot of guys, a lot of strong leaders here who are on that outside line. They're not going to be able to drop down onto pit road from there.
Yeah, if they do, they're going to have to force their way down for sure. And one of the biggest teams that is not together right now, they're separated by 3 cars, are the 40 XLI guys. They're separated by Murphy there and A-Bar. So we'll see how that plays out. But, I mean, it's going to be dicey once these guys start to make their way down pit road. We'll see who's going to be the first taker.
I think that's the move of the day. Whoever gets how they plan, that's going to be the deciding factor as to how successful you are going forward towards the conclusion of this event. It's this next pit stop. It all comes down to this.
Now, they all could wreck. That's the other, caveat here too.
Yeah, no, you're not trying to throw any shade.
Oh, so. No, not at all, not at all. I'm just saying, with 30 cars up here in this pack, somebody makes a move down, trying to get down pit road, and we've seen a lot of times where guys don't expect it. So, that's always a possibility when you're running these packs, because the inside line's not going to get to the outside line by any means.
So you do have the option here in iRacing to be able to let everybody know what you're doing, to talk to all the drivers, say, I'm going in, we're pitting this time by, but it's still going to be dicey trying to get from that outside line in.
Who's going to be nice enough to give up their spot, but who's going to be dicey enough to give up their strategy? That's the play there, because if you tell everybody that you're going to pit and you're on the outside line, you're telling everybody else what you're going to do. So 14 laps to go, and we're still waiting for this entire pack to pit, led by Jordan Booth, Alex Murphy, and Jordan Wenzel there in the bottom lane.
Just a little shot from inside of Jordan Booth's car. He's got a lap car coming up, but he is 193, 94, 95, 96. It's going up as he hits the tail end of this backstretch. 197. And then about now, if he were to come in, he's going to think, how do I get out of this gas and brake and not violate the speed limit on pit road?
That is correct.
All right, so I think what we're seeing up ahead is those guys that pitted early.
Yes, we are seeing that, and
we've got some
that's
takers.
Not a good sign.
Yeah, we do have some takers on pit road. Alex Forget, Clark Franz, they all came in. Matthew Robinson, Vince Burns, Nick Alves, they were all in and out on pit road. So we are seeing a few others begin to take their pit stop, but not the leaders, not yet.
Down. Are we going to see some pit stops this time? No, nobody coming down. Oh, we do see a few actually coming down pit road.
Eric Jeffers, Travis Bennett, Glenn Stanley, and Michael Whitley have now chosen to come down here with 12 laps to go, lap 88. Oh, the 94 may have slightly overshot his pit stop.
And that's not what you need at all at this stage of the race. Also, that pack is approaching Jason Hale, Scott Thomas, Josh Douglas.
They're hunting them down, but they're all going to have to go into the pits. So for those guys who just came in on lap 88, that was about a 6.23 second fuel-only pit stop.
Here we go. This is going to be a huge, huge point in this race. Where are these leaders going to go, knowing that these 3 guys up here are potentially battling for the win?
Well, what do you see? You see all those 40 XLI guys are now on that low side. They can now pit together if they choose to with 11 laps to go.
And we may be going 3 wide. 3 wide into turn 3. This is dicey, Rick.
We're watching.
72 in the wall. XLI trying to split this field now. 40 XLI, that is.
We're watching just a little bit farther back in the pack. They've made their way around those guys, and they're back on that low line. as the rest of the field is having to deal with that pack of three that now blend in. That is a big move. Now Jones, Bunch, Japs all in onto pit road with 10 laps to go.
The question is, when are these three teammates going to come down pit road? That is what I want to know.
Big note, Bostic up 29, up 30 spots, now in fourth from 30.
Here they come. Here they come. Big field coming down pit road, making sure. Oh, we got overspeeding. 39 definitely sped into pit road. I don't know how. He was very fast coming down into pit road. We'll see if he gets a penalty for that. If that's the case, he does shake up these 40 XLI guys who both enter pit road. Smooth. They should be taking off in the same realm. There we go. Oh, the 39 is out.
Huge. That's a huge move.
I don't see any penalties for the 39 as it stands right now. He was coming in hot. That's all I got to say. To say the least.
That was a 24 of Matt Persuni going by. I said that wrong.
It's all good. And then we have the current leaders on pit road right now, Rick. The 30 of Alex Murphy. All those guys are now on pit road. And here they come out of pit road. We'll see where these XLI, the 40 XLI drivers.
So it's Varanakis, Murphy, Mills, Abar, and Sexton who came out here. Lap 92, 8 laps to go. But back to our leaders.
Field. Yep, here comes the 41, the 40, and the 39. There's some of those guys right there. You see one exiting right now. There's a couple guys up there. That is the 46 machine of Simon Madgen, who looks to be in pretty good shape if he can get the draft.
No, they're going to blow right by him. He just was not able to get up to race speed coming off of pit road. But that outside line is back up, and who's in front? Who's running that outside line? Jordan Wenzel, plus the 12 of Eric Jeffers, and the 01 of Travis Bennett. Those guys have been stuck nose to tail, and they are battling these 40 XLI guys in the low line.
That is the battle for the race now with 7 laps to go. Jordan Wenzel there in the high line with Eric Jeffers right behind him, followed by who other than Travis Bennett. And they got a run on those teammates on the bottom lane. That outside line has some momentum with the help of
Ty Bostic.
Yep, Ty Bostic there.
That's a group of, we got the 15 that's right there as well. That 15 was involved in an earlier incident, but was able to turn it around. But I believe he is a lap car. That's Mark Franz. He's a lap car who is mixed
Yellow flag.
in.
Yellow flag.
Cautions out. It's like Vince Burns and Jacob Musso were involved.
What happened here?
Trying to find Jacob Musso and Vince Burns. There's some huge damage on these cars. Looking at that car has got some front toe link. I think that's the 55. Let's go back and see what we can see.
Looks like somebody got turned. That's my guess.
I think that's probably a pretty accurate guess. Let's. Well, that's just to what we say. So 13 had a huge run. That's Alves. Wait.
Oh, is he get turned in the outside wall?
Let's back that up just a little bit. Was it an actual incident, or was it again a bit of net code?
Definitely net code. I mean, the 13 was into the 55.
Looks like he caught the net code occurred on the 25.
Yep.
Which turned him right in. That's Musso. Directly doored the 55.
Yeah, and that 55 got sent right up the track. Hard hit.
both the 25 and the 55. Unfortunately, they collect the 7. The 7 was involved as well. That's Alberto Abar. Major damage with that 7 car. 55 is definitely damaged as well as a 25. All right, 55 is in, trying to get some repairs made. Unfortunately, that would be a long stop for him if he already used his quick repair. But with 5 laps to go, no takers on pit road. And that puts Jordan Wenzel in charge. We'll see where Jordan decides he wants to go. The lights are still on the pace car, so we'll have at least one more lap. We'll probably start this with 3 laps to go.
We'll start it with 3 laps to go, but it won't be a green-white checker finish. So if you're counting, technically we have 4 now with this race more than likely going to that. I do not see any indication from race control that they are going to make this a green-white checkered finish. So what that means is we're going to get the green flag with 3 to go, more than likely. So, Rick, you have Jordan Wenzel, Jeffers, and Bennett essentially battling the 41, the 40, and the 39. You got Ty Bostic up there. He's probably going to help whichever line goes faster, per se. That's the battle.
Bostic's kind of in the catbird seat to some extent. Who knows what's going to happen in front of him? We'll see how this all goes.
Yeah, I mean, you got basically 3v3 and then a Lone Ranger out there trying to figure out how to maybe dodge and weave his way around the chaos that might ensue.
Well, with just 5 laps to go, we appreciate you tuning in to the IWM broadcast of the iNASCAR Racing Series. And you know, John, it just could not have been a better race so far. Just great racing, very few incidents, and just a great show being put on by these drivers.
Yeah, amazing running for all these guys out here. Everybody a part of the iNRS. You know, they should be proud of what they got going on here. You know, with the Cato NY Pizzeria 250 at Daytona. It's a great way to start off their season. And if you're enjoying, gotta say this, if you're enjoying what you're seeing tonight and what you're about to see here in the next 3 laps, tune in next week. They will be at Atlanta, Rick. So we'll be covering the race. We'll be covering every single one of these iNRS races this season. And that's essentially a super speedway. So back-to-back super speedways, and I would expect some similar faces up at the front of that one with some similar team orders. But you have to wait till next week. So make sure to tune in.
And next week we'll go back to a normal qualifying style race, so there won't be the duels. So really, you know, you've got to qualify successfully to get in the show. All right, the lights are off on the pace car. We are almost ready to go back to green flag. They will come across the stripe with 3 laps to go. Again, this is not a green-white checker situation. So Jordan Wenzel decided to take that low line. That put the 12 of Eric Jeffers, kind of splitting these guys apart. And the 12 of Jeffers has got the 41 of Jordan Booth behind him.
Yes, he does. And it's a shakeup for sure. You know, you got teammates down there. You got non-teammates. You have team orders possibly being handled in between possibly the 81 and the 12. But, you know, we're 3 laps to go here in the Cato NY Pizzeria 250 at Daytona. This is what we have been waiting for. Cars into Geico Restart Zone. Green flag racing with 3 laps to go at the line. Is that 12 going to drop down?
Yes, he does. Exactly as we had anticipated, that there was a way for those 3 amigos to get back together. And now you've got Ty Bostic, who has now taken that spot. He's up top now, sandwiched between those 40 XLI guys, while the 81 and the 12 break away a little bit, but that field will catch back up to them.
Yeah, you don't want to get too far away. We've seen that happen before, where you get too far away from these guys. Next thing you know, you are getting pulled back quite intensely. Now, that 12 may be like, forget it, I'm going to burn this thing to the ground, pushing this 81 to the wind. But we shall see. Outside lines caught, inside lines caught. Coming to 2 laps to go. Those 40 XLI guys are separated, but here's the 01 to the top.
I think he stalled out the line. He did that on purpose.
I mean, hey, team orders, right? I mean, you're trying to get a win for the team. You're trying to get a win for the guys you worked with all race long. Well, I mean, 2 laps to go.
That 01 of Travis Bennett may have figured that his best opportunity was to, at this point, there's 2 laps to go. You need all the help you can get. And that
all the help.
Yeah, that 41's been so strong. Take it.
Oh, we have 3 wide. 40 shot the middle. Wrecking. Big wreck.
The big one.
That's the whole field. That's the big one. Cars upside down on top of other cars. And that started with the 40 machine in the middle. That's the last I saw before I saw cars going sideways. So that's my best reference point. I got nothing else. All I saw was chaos.
Yeah, we got a lot of that going on. There's a lot of wrecked cars out there in this field.
All right, let's see if we can take a look back and see what started. I saw some 3 wide. I know for sure going into turn 3.
I'm trying to scroll back to the start of this. The Bostic machine is tore up. All right, he had a quick repair. Let's try to go back and see what we can see.
Good time to use it. All right, so there's the move. There's the move in the middle by the 40.
Bear with us here while we try to get our bearings a bit here. All right. 40 winds up, dropping down and tapping the inside of the 22, which turns him into the 12, collecting the rest of the field.
Ooh, the 40 got through that too. Wow. Or did he? Did he get involved? No, he did not. Brendan Hayes.
Hayes survived.
Through that.
Musso survived. Jonathan Varanakis survived.
A lot of guys survived and a lot of guys didn't, as you can see back there. Yeah, no. Tough break. Tough break for the 12 of Eric Jeffers. Nowhere he could go. That's the second time I think he's got turned into the wall.
All right, so that has completely changed the field.
It has.
Let's see if we can do a better job of giving you ideas. So right now, the scoring pylon has the 01 of Travis Bennett. Man, he made the right move at the right time, did he not?
Yeah, yes, he did. He was staying out of that chaos for sure. So he's up there in first. You got Booth in second. Looks like Jordan Winsel in third. Simon Madgett in fourth. Brendan Hayes in fifth. Jonathan Divernakis there in sixth. Joe Musso, seventh. Alex Forget there in eighth. Eddie Musso Jr. in ninth. And Tyler Sexton in 10th. It looks like, Rick, there are 33 cars on the lead lap. Now, that is pending any cars that are on pit road for damages. But so it looks like we may have 33 cars to finish this race.
Yeah, the 9 of Jason Hale's been out. He was involved in that earlier incident. He's retired. Yep. Other than that, there are some cars that are still on. Well, there's still one still on pit road. That's the 03 of Glenn Stanley, and I don't believe he will be coming back out. He's got some definite front end damage on that vehicle.
For sure. So we are.
Go ahead.
Yeah, green, white, checkered. Green, white, checkered. It's number 1.
So what does it mean?
So that means we are going to get technically a 2-lap shootout. So we're going to get the green flag. The next flag when we cross the start-finish line will be the white flag, and then the next flag when we go across that start-finish line will be the end of the race. So technically 2 laps here. Green and a white, and then the checkered flag to finish it. If we get a caution before the white flag waves, we are going to restack them and redo it all over again up to 2 more times after this first attempt. So we could have chaos 2 more times. Who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? But if there is a wreck after the white flag, the checkered flag will end the race. Oftentimes, you do not see a caution flag come out after the white. 9 times out of 10, it's a race control decision. But oftentimes, you do not see a wave there. So as long as they get back to the white flag, it is every man for himself, and the last flag will end it, which is the checkered flag.
So Travis Bennett is your control car. He is in that red and white Bucky's car in the low line. Lights are off on the pace car, and he's got the 41 of Jordan Booth behind him, on his outside. Sorry, behind the 01 of Travis Bennett, he's got his drafting partner, Jordan Wenzel. Unfortunately, the 12 car of Eric Jeffers, who was unfortunately involved in that incident, has now found himself back in 20th.
He's going to need a lot of help, or a lot to happen on this last lap for something miraculous to happen for that team. So right now you have the 40 XLI guys split up. You got the 01 and the 81 lined up together. We'll see who decides to work together, who doesn't. The 01 of Travis Bennett is the control car in the bottom lane. 3 laps to go here to decide the winner of the Cato NY Pizzeria 250 at Daytona. Looks like a good launch for the first 2 cars, but not a great launch for anybody 4th row back on the outside, which is going to give the outside row a major run as the 01 blocks the high side.
Owen's now having to drive in his rearview mirror to try and get around these guys or keep them behind him with just 2 laps to go.
Yep, 2 laps to go. That 41 now has taken the lead. Jordan Booth back up there, but a big
move
move by the 40. That's the 46 of Simon Madgen there, taking the lead, coming to the white flag. But look at that. The teammates are together. Yellow flag is out. We're wrecking again into 3 and 4. So that means we're
Tyler Thurman, Eric Jeffers involved. Alberto Abar also, Richard Mills, and potentially Mark Hanna involved in this number of drivers collected. We are going to rack and stack once again. But that puts Simon Madgen, who we have not seen up front until now, which is the most important time to be up front.
It is in that Grand West Chevrolet there in the 46, followed by those 2 40 XLI cars. Let's see if we can go back and take a look and see what brought out us our 6th caution of the night, our 5th for incident, but our 6th caution of the night.
Yeah, this is I have no idea where we're going to wind up. We'll try to get a feel. It's probably ahead of Tyler Thurman here.
I think it started with, or it was around the 12 of Eric Jeffers.
Well, that may tell you something right there. He has unfortunately found himself 3 wide, and there's 3 wide in front of him, and that's where the wreck starts. Looks like a pinball bouncing in between the low lane and the high lane.
Oh, a little bit of net code there, and see if we can take it. I think that's the 5 machine again. That's Richard Mills getting involved with, I believe, the 88 there of Mark Hanna.
Yeah, it looks like Mark has found himself in the middle. That has not been a recipe for a good day.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
this started
way back.
I mean, way back.
Yeah, we're going way back. All right, so we'll let this run at full speed. Y'all can see it for yourself here. So the 88 drifted up a bit. There's contact, the 25 below, that's Musso. They're holding it together. I have no idea how. Now the 88's squirrely, and everybody's spinning, everybody's collecting. It's a big one.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think the 5 was too pleased with the 88's move. I don't think the 88 could really go anywhere. The 25 was pushed down, and had a lot of cars in a small amount of space that doesn't typically work. So just a matter of circumstance there with all of these guys. Unfortunate for those guys, as we were about to be coming to the white flag, but some of those guys I think will be out. Corey Bunch, Mark Hanna, both a lap down now. Alex Murphy a lap down.
Yeah, from from riches to rags for Eric Jeffers in the 12. Now he's trying to get repairs made. A-Bar, Hanna, Mike Wheel. A lot of work being done now on these cars. So now we're going to do this all over again, and maybe we'll get through it.
Maybe. I mentioned in the pre-race, Rick, I said you could get wrecked on lap 1 or you could get wrecked with 1 to go. And we've seen that twice now, and it's a frustrating feeling knowing you were up there battling, and next thing you know, you're out of the race. But that's the beauty of Daytona. It's only race 1. You got a lot of racing to go, so try not to take it too harshly, and let's go on the next week if you got caught up in some of this stuff, and it's a long season ahead. So right now we are getting the 1 to go sign from the flag stand, which means we are going to be entering our second green-white checker, Rick, which means we have 1 more after this, so only 1 more. Now, one thing I am noticing, do you see what I see on the bottom lane?
Yeah. The 41 and the 40 are nose to tail. I believe that the 46 was the control car, and he chose the outside line, running in front of Jonathan Varanakis up top there, and that Quaker State of Alex Forget-Berube.
It's an interesting move, because if you go to the high line, you're going to be with somebody you've worked with all race. But if you go to the inside line, you're separating the 41 and the 40. Now, you risk the 41 and the 40 getting together anyways. So either way here, if those two drivers of the 40 XLI cars get together, it's going to be, a battle, obviously, with everybody else. But, look at the 19 of Alex Forget. Look at Eddie Musso Jr. Look at Tyler Lem up there. Jordan Winsel's back up to 10th, so he wants to get back up here. And don't forget about the 72 up there. He could possibly win this race, so it's anybody's game right now up there in the front. If you're Simon Madsen, you're trying to say, hey, Jonathan, let's go. Let's get a push, and let's go to the front here. 2 Chevrolets on the bottom, or 2 Chevrolets on the top, 2 Fords on the bottom. So
yeah, Booth and Hayes are like, we started this. Let's finish it.
And, their teammate, Kai Collmore, is about the 8th car on the outside line right now. 6th car. 7th car, technically. So we'll see if he's able to get up there, but we have 3 laps to go here in the iNRS Cato NY Pizzeria 250. Let's see if we can get to the white flag and then a checkered green flag back in the air here at Daytona. Great start for the 46 and the 72. If that 72 pushes that 46 enough, you may see them try to drop in front of the 2 teammates. And they have enough. Oh, they don't.
Nope. They lost it. They almost had it.
So we have a drag race now. The 41 and the 40 are connected, though. That is the big mover here. But here comes the 01 machine of Travis Bennett. Big move to the middle lane. Gonna split him. Travis Bennett to the middle.
Huge move. We are 3 wide going into 3.
Oh, we got pushing, Rick. Oh, this is not good. Not good. 4 wide.
Oh.
Yeah, we're wrecking again. We're wrecking. Maybe.
Oh, big
yeah, we're
wreck.
wrecking. Yeah.
The entire field behind the top 6 guys have now wrecked. Yeah, 7. 7 made it through clearly.
They were wrecking for half a corner. It was going to happen. I was like, okay, like I saw a car sideways. I saw 4 wide. That just wasn't going to work. So take a look back. This is going to mean we have 1 more green-white checker to go before this event is over.
Well, I think we all saw that from the from live action. I'm not sure we need to go back and take another peek at that. But what we will do is take one more commercial break, our last one of the night, and we'll be right back.
Welcome to the New York Pizzeria in Cato, New York. The New York Pizzeria has been bringing Central New York the best meals and snacks in the business for generations. Located at the four corners of State Routes 34 and 370, the New York Pizzeria is easy to find and impossible not to love. Aside from delicious pizza served to go or in-house, the food is always fresh and made by the local and talented staff. The New York Pizzeria prides itself on dishes including always fresh pizza by the pie, slice, or sheet with all the topping options you could want. The one-of-a-kind, Jenny Wings. A mild, sweet and sour take on traditional bone-in or boneless chicken wings. And fresh-to-order garlic cheese bread, chicken parm subs and a prime variety of cold beverages. Do yourself and a legendary local business a favor and have what is truly one of the originals. The New York Pizzeria, order today.
All right, welcome back to the IWM broadcast of the iNASCAR Racing Series for the Cato New York Pizza 250 at Daytona. We've been through those 250 miles. We're now on our third and final green white checker.
That is correct. We only have one more of these, so you've been racing at Daytona quite a bit when the sky starts to look like a beautiful sunset and the lights start to come on. We have transitioned almost into a sunset race here. Now, this next green-white checker that we are going to be entering in is the last one. So right now, up front, Jordan Booth and Brendan Hayes, teammates up there, followed by Tyler Lim, Travis Bennett, Joe Rousseau, Matthew Robinson making a great appearance up there, up from 24th. So a lot of big movers here as this race winds down.
Look at Ron Fitting. He started 37th. He's up to 7th.
Amazing.
Yeah,
Amazing run.
Yeah, right time, right place. All right, so we're on our green-white checker here. Hopefully we'll get the flag, the one to go sign next time by. Jordan Booth is our control car. We'll see what spot he takes. He does have his teammate behind him. My guess is he will try to figure out a way that they can stay together on this restart.
Yeah, I mean, definitely take the high line. If I was the leader, that way you can control it and you can count that off with your teammate. It's no secret. That's what everybody does. So it's a matter of teamwork here. And then can the 01 and the 99 connect? The 99 of Tyler Lim has the 19 behind him. So, excuse me, that may be the one car.
That's Travis Bennett, who's in the one car, the Bucky's car. He'll be behind the 40 of Brendan Hayes.
Yep, and then the one car behind the 99 is Matt Robinson. So you have a lot of players right here. And looking on back, looking for that other 40 XLI teammate, he is not up here. The 39 machine is all the way back in 19th. So no factor on the end of this one from the two teammates concerned. So it's a battle now for these guys up in the front with a lot of hungry dogs behind them. I mean, you have some big movers. Look at Joseph Mousseau, Matt Robinson, Ron Fitting up 30 spots there in the 7. Or my bad, in the 3 rather. All I know is it's going to be chaotic. This is the last one we got, so who's going to be at the end?
Your guess is as good as mine.
Yeah, I mean, I could have given you a better guess, 20 laps ago, but now I really don't know what to say. It's anybody's run here at Daytona, as we've now fallen under essentially nighttime in the Cato New York Pizzeria 250. Pace car is...
Yep, go ahead.
Yeah, it's making its way down pit road as we speak.
Geico restart zone.
Yep. And green back in the air. And as we thought, team orders. That 41 jumped down, and the 40 is getting a major push from the 01. What is going to happen now? We got 3 wide on the back. We got a car off speed, major off speed that's causing issues in the back. And you have the 01 being side drafted by the 99, which is pushing the 40 and the 41 out further.
Oh, contact.
Hold on to her. Oh, we're 3 wide. I don't know if we're going to make it to the line, Rick. This is tight racing in the back. They're still 3 wide. They're still 3 wide.
Check it out.
All they have. Just got to make it to the line.
Hang on to it.
All right. Oh, big block from the 40. We're 3 wide for the lead, Rick. White flag in the air. And here comes the 3 machine.
Oh, dropping off the racing surface on the 3. Oh, they're wrecking.
Hold on to it. He's going to come back up the track.
Back
one
up
big
front.
block on the 28. 28 then. Oh.
Oh, 1 blocks at 28. Oh, they're wrecking behind now.
Big wreck.
Oh, 1
Wow,
Bucky's. Oh, 3 wide now. 3 wide. Pinball bouncing at 41. Trying to find his way back up to the front.
And out front is
Travis
the 01.
Bennett. Oh, now they're wrecking.
So it's a two-man race, the 99 and the 01, Rick. Can the 99 do anything? I don't think he can. Rick, the
Travis
01 of
Bennett.
Travis Bennett. He won the race. How is that? That's incredible. Followed by the 99 of Tyler Lim. And in third, was it?
Yes, Kai Collymore finishes in 3rd.
How is that even possible?
Oh
man.
my gosh. Eddie Musso finishes in 4th. Nick Alves in 5th. Ty Bostic comes back and finishes in 6th.
What a final lap.
Jeez.
You had nobody, was giving any room. People were just, like you said,
They
pinball.
were done. They were done.
Yeah, they were like, I don't care what happens. I am putting my foot to the gas and I'm moving people out of the way. And the move of the race for the 01 was the block on the 48. I don't know if you want to go back and take a look at that, Rick, but that block in the middle of 1 and 2 from the 01 won him the race.
We'll have
Also,
to ask
Travis
that on the on interview.
Is the 01 out of gas?
He's I don't know.
I think the 01's out of gas.
I wouldn't be surprised. He pitted last on lap 88. In fact, he was nearly he is nearly the oldest car out there as far as.
Oh yeah, he's clutched in. He has no gas.
Well, he made it to the start-finish line.
He did. He made it to the start-finish line. Barely. So there's your finishing order right there. In the middle, you have Travis Bennett, Tyler Lim on the outside lane, and on the inside, you have the 39 of Kai Collymore.
All right, looks like we're still... Oh, no, the race results have posted. Let's look at the results.
Alrighty, here we are. The Cato New York Pizzeria 250 has winded down, and Travis Bennett is your winner, followed by Tyler Lemon second, Kai Collymore in third, Eddie Musso Jr. in fourth, Nick Alves finishing there in fifth with Ty Bostic in sixth, Tony Japs in seventh, Michael Whitley Jr. in eighth, Sean Walton in ninth, and Eric Jeffers, finishes in 10th.
Great recovery. Alex Murphy in 11th, Jacob Musso in 12th, Joe Musso in 13th, Vince Burns in 14th, Alberto Abar in 15th, Clark Franz in 16th, Matthew Robinson in 17th, in 18th, James Jones, Cody Graham in 19th, Josh Douglas finishes in 20th.
Simon Madgen in 21st, Jordan Booth, tough break, finishes in 27th with Scott Thomas in 23rd, Ron Fitting in 24th, Brandon Ishkanyan in 25th with Brendan Hayes, another 40XLI driver, in 26th. You have Alex Forget Garubi there in 27th with Jordan Winsel in 28th, Jonathan Devernakis there in 29th, and Todd Smith in 30th.
Matthew Persuni is in 31st. Mike Wheel in 32nd, Tyler Thurman in 33rd, Garrett Walden in 34th, Richard Mills in 35th, Tyler Sexton in 36th, Corey Bunch finishes in 37th, Mark Hanna 38th, Glenn Staley 39th, and Jason Hale finishes in 40th. All right, let's try to get some interviews going, John. I can't wait to hear from some of these guys. Let's grab Kai Collimore and bring him into the broadcast booth and talk a bit with Kai about that restart. Kai, congratulations on your P3 finish.
Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about that restart. I know there's so many of them. How'd you wind up in third?
Well, I restarted like 21st, 22nd maybe, and I was just listening to my team comms. I was just listening to them. They were like, we're gonna win this race, and they did good. We did an amazing job as a team all day, but just sucks for the race to end like that. But it was fun. Then out of 2, I saw them wrecking, got a little bit in it, avoided it. Then down the backstretch, I accidentally hooked someone. But then once I saw turn 3, I knew I had to go low, hit the apron a little bit, and I don't know how I split the middle, but it's just a miracle.
Sometimes you need a little bit of luck, Kai.
Yeah.
All right, well, congratulations on your P3 finish. Any shout-outs tonight?
I'd like to shout out my team, 40XLI, Jordan Booth, and Brendan Hayes. Great team all night. We're working our way up there, but I think we did good for a debut race.
Absolutely. Great showing with you and your teammates, and we'll see you next week in Atlanta.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, that's your P3 finisher, Kai Collimore, and we've got Tyler Lem. Let's grab Tyler. Tyler, congratulations on your P2 finish. Tyler?
What's up, y'all?
Welcome to the broadcast booth, and congratulations on survival of those 3 restarts.
You said it right. That was survival all the way to the end for me. And I got damaged in that first wreck that triggered the green-white checkered, and after that, survival.
Overall, you had you had to work your way back up. You started 15th, and here you are finishing 2nd. That was a great finish.
Thank you, man. I know with super speedways, I'm going to be quick. It's just a matter of, not making that crucial mistake. And, there was a while there where I lost the draft, and my teammates, they all shout out every one of them. They helped. They stayed in line, got me back up, and I'm happy to bring home a P2 for my boys.
Well, that was a great finish. And, of course, we'll be looking forward to see you next week in Atlanta. But any shout-outs tonight here in Daytona?
Oh, absolutely. Shout out my family. They watch every time I give them a stream link to click on. So I love you all and appreciate you always.
You got it. All right, there's your P2 finisher, Tyro Lem, making his way all the way back up and surviving that carnage at the end there. Let's bring in the winner of today's race, Mr. Travis Bennett. Travis, congratulations on your win.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
We, sitting here in the booth, we had no idea how this race was going to finish. We thought we did. We thought we had a pretty good idea, but we were wrong. We weren't even close.
Oh, man, that's a typical Daytona or Talladega type race, man. You always think you got a plan, and it goes out the window.
Take us through that last restart. What were you thinking?
Man, to be honest with you, I can't even remember.
Well,
you got so much adrenaline going, it's hard to put anything in the memory bank.
Well, John, there was that. You saw a move. What was that?
Yeah, that move in 1 and 2, I think you blocked. What was it? The 46 car on the high side. That was, I think, the move of the race for you, Travis. Walk me through what you saw, knowing what you had to do to put yourself in a chance to win.
Well, I seen in the mirror. Obviously, I was mirror driving. Hearing my teammates yelling, "The top line's got help," and I just put it up there. And if I get spun out, I get spun out, man. I didn't care, and I knew as soon as they hit me, the bottom lane was going to come too. So I was just timing it. As soon as he hits me, I was going to pull straight back down to the line. It worked out, man. I'm just glad I didn't spin out, and these cars are pretty stable. I don't think you could do anything like that in the trucks or Xfinity. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, we definitely saw that, especially in some of these 3-wide incidents. There was, a few cars bouncing off each other, and for the most part, well, at least for a while, they kept it together until they didn't.
Yeah, I believe that before the last restart, I wound up putting it 3-wide right up above the purple cars with Jordan Booth and them guys. And hats off to them, man. They were fast all night, and we was all trying to figure out how to beat them, And I thought for sure I was going to get squeezed or we was going to get wrecked when I put it 3-wide, but they was able to keep it off of me, and we had some clean driving for the most part there.
Absolutely. Any shout-outs tonight, Travis?
Yeah, I just want to shout out to everybody at Full Throttle Motorsports, man. We got one on the board early, and hey, we in the playoffs.
There you go. You did punch your ticket into the first round of the playoffs. So there you go. Congratulations to Travis Bennett and Full Throttle Motorsports on a successful victory here in the Cato NY Pizzeria 250 at Daytona. Next week, we'll see this league move up to the baby Super Speedway up in Atlanta, and we'll see kind of the same thing we saw here tonight. John, what do you think?
I think it'll be a similar race. I think it's going to be a little bit more, a little bit looser. I don't think you can do the same amount of pushing that you can here at a Super Speedway, but no matter what, it's going to be an exciting race seeing. Now that, Travis Bennett's locked himself in, what does he do? Does he go back and get another one? He can win. What do we see that 40XLI team doing, knowing that they owned the race, and next thing you know, you only had one car finishing on the podium. So it's going to be an exciting one next week. You don't want to miss it here with Rick and I on the IWM Broadcast Network.
All right. Again, thanks for all of those who have tuned in tonight. We appreciate you. If you could, like and follow on your way out, whatever stream you're watching, so that you can stay up to date on what's happening here on our Wednesday night series with Tech for Troops and our Thursday night series with the iNASCAR Racing League. All right. So from John and myself, we wish you good night, and we'll see you next week.
See you next week.